It's time for a Tinkercad community challenge, so let's get cracking. Super quick, friends, Tinkercad has a sketch tool, and if you've got an SVG, you can trace it. I created this tutorial, you can check the details right here, and it highlights how to quickly trace your shape, and then once you've got that shape, you can make parts that have a perfect fit. Of course, I shared my design publicly, and as you can see, 16 people have already checked it out. And I'm challenging you to do the same with different images. Let me show you how easy the steps are. First, I went to Google Gemini. As you can see, I've added the prompt, please create a black and white clip art image, and I'm gonna choose an owl. I would like to challenge you guys to pick something different, and then I mentioned I needed to have a fun face and be easy to trace. When you hit submit, you just have to wait a moment as Gemini takes that prompt and turns it into a fun image. Bang! This is a great one for tracing. We've got the outside edges and all the little parts. As soon as you've got this, you can simply download it. I am going to keep the goofy name and save it. It's that easy. If you ever don't like your results, you simply type in some changes to try and get the next ones. You can also click right here to start a brand new chat. The next website I'd like you to visit is picsvg.com. Simply click upload a picture, find that image you just created, and then we need to switch the filter. I'm going to hit detail. Before we download our cute little design, let's do a quick clean of it. If we zoom in, let's make sure there aren't any artifacts. Lately, I've been finding this tiny one up here. I want to delete this tiny spot. Check it out. I can turn on delete mode, simply grab it, and when I hit delete, it says, do you really want to get rid of it? And yes, I can. We could also use this to get rid of any other parts you did not like. You could also fill in any spots. Now that I'm sure that this SVG is good, I'm going to hit download SVG. I'm going to save it as the modified SVG. And it is time to switch to Tinkercad.com. You can simply choose sign in with Google. It's 100% free. Today we're simply going to hit create new 3D design. I like to start by naming them. We're going to call this one owl, and I'm going to put template. And then we're going to simply choose import, and we're going to import that SVG. There is my modified one, and I'm going to hit open to bring it in. I'm going to choose art, and then I always look for the larger number. This time it's 400. And I'm going to change that to 60 or 65 millimeters. You can take your pick. Once I choose import, it takes just a moment and bang, there is our cute little SVG that we can trace. Now I'm asking you to do this so users can practice. Let's start by going over here and putting N. And I just added that this is a fun template that you can use to practice your sketch tracing skills. I'm going to click here and put N again. And I'm simply going to add that it is related to this tutorial, bit.ly/HLsketch26. If you want to add more notes, you can, but at this point, you can simply back up to the Tinkercad workspace, click up on the gear, open the properties. Of course, make sure you add a name. I added the fun description mentioning that it is a template. If you make an awesome one, please share it in the gallery with the HLMD23 tag. And then, of course, I highlighted the tutorial as well, so it's easier for users to find. I'm going to collapse this back up. I always add some tags. Since this one is an owl, I'm going to put the word owl on it. Of course, HLMT23 is how I see it. And then make sure you make it public, and then you need to allow users to change it. If you leave it as share alike, they can adjust it. If you don't want users to adjust your work, you set it as no derivatives. Once you're done with that, hit save changes. And then if we click search right up here, and type HLMT23, notice it is saved in my browser. The first thing you need to do is switch to recent, and bang, there is the new template. How cool is that? Now, if you've never checked this out before, it is a fantastic tag where users share amazing designs every single day. Of course, I check them out and give reactions, and I'm challenging you to do so also. There are so many amazing ones, cool ideas that users are coming up with all the time. It is a great place to get a little bit of inspiration or perhaps come up with your next Tinkercad project. As you're checking out users, I do want to highlight, if you ever click on their name, you get to see all of their designs. Of course, you can sort by last edited. One of my favorites to highlight here is Team HLMT23. You can learn all about it by following this bit.ly. You can also join in a heartbeat by simply giving a reaction. You can also bounce over here and swap to trending to see the latest designs that are popular. And then finally, a fun one is to click on reactions and see just how many reactions a Tinkercad user has got. Of course, with my projects, if you click on them and look down in the list, there is quite often a tutorial. And in the images, you'll likely find some other projects I think are cool. As I wrap up, I want to say thanks to everybody that watches the video, and of course I really want to thank you if you take time to actually participate. I'm hoping we see a lot of awesome sketches that users can trace. I do quickly want to say thank you to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 different levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support you get early access to videos. Also make sure you pay attention for those members only posts. Also a massive shout out to everybody that supports me via Patreon. The group is past 480 members and it has a fantastic messaging area where you can ask questions, gain skills, share designs. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe, you're helping HLModTech get just a little bit bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day and keep tinkering.